Good morning, sweet teacher Jeng. So what we are going to do here today for painting class is how to do the white and blue base background for our landscape painting. So you could use any canvas you have, or any size will do, as long as it's on panoramic view. And what we have is a titanium white and a primary blue. So in order to do the pre-staining process, we just have to gradually mix blue and white. So for our landscape painting, we are going to start with a seascape, so it's a little bit easier. So you need to create a horizon line. Let's just say somewhere here. So my horizon line will be on this area. We just create a guide. Now, our first objective here on the canvas is to create the sky color, which is a light blue. So what we need here is a darker blue on top, and as it goes, it becomes lighter blue. So what we need to do is gradually mix our blue with a little bit of white. You could mix it as loose as possible without the use of palette knife, because we are trying to create a pre-staining process. So you could also use or do any brush strokes you want. You could do up and down, left and right, as long as the objective of covering the whole canvas with paint is being done. Make sure that there's no white spots, which is the unpainted areas. So if you notice, the camera is quite zoomed in on the whole canvas, but I will send you pictures on the whole image because it's easier to demonstrate this way. So again, I'm just gradually mixing and as loose as possible. So for the tonal value to lighten up, what we are going to do is to create more white on this area and paint it here all the way to the bottom. So dark blue on top. As it goes down, we need to create a lighter blue. So since I have blue paints already on my paintbrush, I would just tone this down with white, and it will eventually become a lighter blue. So what you need is continue all the way here to the right side and all the way to the left side of your canvas. So again, for the darker blue, I would just simply mix more blue rather than the white, and then as loose as possible, because we're still working on the pre-staining process or the background color, and we are mostly going to overlay clouds on your seascape painting. So continue working on the area up until you can fill the spaces. If it gradually changed to a more darker blue rather than a lighter blue, That's okay lang as long as it's as long as the change in tones are not too drastic or too far. A little bit of or a slight tonal difference will do. Just gonna paint this area blue and white. Slow movements of brush strokes. You don't need those wide strokes. What we do is constantly create a shorter brush strokes. So after the background color, I'm going to teach you how to uh, paint clouds, but for today we are just going to do the base and let it dry first, so you could add this to your drawing classes. So again, if you notice, I'm just loosely mixing the paints on the brush and gently putting on the canvas. Since it's a pre-staining method, this one is not our main color and it will just be part of the background. Try not to blend it first too much because we are going to need those brush strokes to create lines and positioning of the clouds later on. So if you could see those initial brush strokes, that's okay lang because that will work as soft parts of the clouds, so you nothing to worry on it too much. Just continue, take your time. You don't need to work too fast on this one. You don't need to finish the canvas in one sitting. You could just paint, relax, and enjoy the moment of looking at the colors mixing towards each other. So if you notice, I'm still mixing it as loose as possible on the palette board with a paintbrush and not with a palette knife, because we want this loose mixed up of colors so we could have a guide later on for creating clouds. So if you could see those brush strokes, that's okay lang. You don't need to take them out. So we're just gonna continue all the way through up until we could finish half of the canvas, or the top half. one. And then here as well. So we are going to continue on the left side with the same procedure, mixing the blue paint as loose as possible on the white paint, and then let them mix on its own